Hello everybody and welcome back to the Great White Sharpedo Pokemon channel. Today we have another Fire Red speedrun challenge, this time with Swampert. And I'm quite confident going in knowing that Swampert is an absolute animal. So we swap him with Squirtle so that we get the hardest starter for us to fight against Bulbasaur. Nickname him Subscribe because that's what everybody should go and do. So we take on Bulbasaur in our first battle, and we actually beat him pretty convincingly, which was a nice surprise, and head straight through Viridian Forest. I think we actually skipped the trainer battle against the rival just west of Viridian. We take on Brock, and as you can imagine, we have Water Gun and a Mud Slap, 4 times super effective. Nothing to really worry about here. We beat them. And then we quickly evolve into Marshtomp, which is nice. Considering the battle went so quick, I thought I'd show you a little bit of the grind on the way through to Mount Moon. The rest of the game, it's nice that we can evolve. Compared to the Squirtle run that we recently did, it's nice to be able to evolve, get better moves, and just be a stronger general Pokemon. If you guys want to see me do a Blastoise run, let me know. If you want to see me do any sort of run, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Alright, so we are at level 23 and we take on the rival. I think that the best strategy here going forward is to not take on Misty. Because we're part ground type, it's going to be pretty tricky to try and beat her with the current setup that we've got. Her Water Pulse is just quite damaging and it's just not worth us trying to take her on over and over and over again. So we take on the rival quite a few times and we finally get the win. After about an hour and 43 minutes, we head to Misty and take her on at level 29. Cop a Water Pulse or 2, but we managed to get confused and die, which was quite frustrating. So we go back pretty well straight away. Try not to muck around. Second time. Again, we this time we one-shot Staryu, so we have full health going into Starmie, which makes all the difference. And we KO Starmie. We also learn Water Pulse, thanks to that Misty, which also helps set us up for the rest of the run until we can get Surf. So already by sort of just after 2 badges, our moveset's actually quite overpowered. We've got Takedown, which is 90 power. We've got Rock Tomb, which is a rock type move. Mud Shot, which is a 65 ground type. And Water Pulse, which is a 60 water type move. So all of our moves are really quite strong by this point in the game. We take on the rival, we get cut, and then we go and take on Lieutenant Surge after that. And as you can imagine, it's not as challenging as the Squirtle run. We can basically one-shot everybody and get our 3rd badge. So we evolve into Swampert almost as we get to Mount Moon. And there is the big fat boy with the big forearms and the big ass tail. So we go through Rock Tunnel, quite a breeze, no real dramas there. Didn't die along the way, which affected our run in quite a few other runs. And we go through and destroy his whole team. And again, it's nice just to be overpowered the way that we are, and we can just smash everybody that's in our way. It's so refreshing to, again, have a Pokemon that's quite strong, can quite easily destroy everybody along the way. And we take on the rival, and we actually lose in Lavender Tower from 1 Razor Leaf. So that spells some concern for the rest of the game. As you can see, we level up to 44. And the fact that a level 25 Ivysaur can one-shot us with Razor Leaf, really concerning going forward. After nearly 4 hours, we take on Erica just to see how we can go. Start off with a Rock Slide, sort of hoping for flinches so that we can't die along the way, but we don't stand a chance. It's just impossible that early on. And that lower level with 4 times weakness just can't happen. So we take a different route. Take on Koga straight away after that. And it's a bit different. Being a part ground type really works in our favour, which is really nice, as opposed to it working against us, against Erica. And we knock off Koga pretty convincingly. And then we head to the rival battle in Saffron City after that, so that we can carry on and fight Sabrina. This is the first run where I reckon Erica has been the 6th badge that we've had to go for, which is quite funny. So we take on the rival and beat his whole team pretty convincingly, which is nice. We get a bit of luck along the way. Go then pick up Lapras so that we can use Strength and Surf. and then we go and fight Giovanni, who again is really no challenge at all. He just gets bodied by earthquakes and surfs, which you know, doesn't work in his favour at all, having ground type Pokemon against a water ground type. So we body him, and then we head on through to Sabrina, and Sabrina cops an absolute ass kicking. Again, being a physical type attacker really works in our favour against her frail psychic types, so we just earthquake our way through, body everybody one hit. It's a beautiful thing. So then the challenge is to go back to Erica. So we do that, and at least this time we're about 10 levels higher, roughly, thereabouts. So we can actually try and take her on this time. And having Earthquake too is a bit of a boost, as opposed to using Mud Shot or Rock Slide before. So we basically one-shot a whole team with Earthquake, which is lovely. Get our 4th badge after 4 hours and 54 minutes. We are cruising compared to any other run that we've done so far. 20 minutes later, we're up against Blaine, and again, being super effective in the ground type area and the water type area, we just destroy his whole team, which is lovely. And then we go straight to Giovanni as well in Viridian, and 5 hours and 29 minutes. I'd really like to try and break the 7-hour mark. I think that would be something that would be a good accomplishment, and then try and break the 6-hour mark going forward. I don't know who with or how. Maybe the Nidoking run might be the way to go, I'm not quite sure. But we beat Giovanni, go and fight our rival. He uses Feather Dance, which destroys us. Every time he uses Feather Dance, we get absolutely bodied. So we need a bit of luck, and also get rid of Paris because we don't need him anymore. So Feather Dance again, and we're dead again. So that's the thing, we need Aerial Ace used against us instead of Feather Dance, because Feather Dance stops us in our tracks. Works in our favour that time. We can, but we still get bodied. Like, it's ridiculous. So we're about 10 levels higher, and we're still getting absolutely destroyed by Razor Leaf. And they're not even critical hits, they're just normal hits, because we're 4 times weak. It's just, it's brutal. We need to get a crit off so that we can get on with this run. He uses Growth, which I can't understand why when he's one-shotting us every single time, but yep, killed him straight after that. So thank God for the fact that he used Growth, because that was just dumb. So we beat the rival, we head straight to the Elite Four, and we get up against Lorelei straight away. And we sort of have a bit of an advantage having Rock Slide, which is nice. We can use it against the whole team. Most of it's super effective, except for Slowbro, I reckon. He's the only one that's not super effective, but he can be sort of bodied with Earthquake, which works in our favour as well. And we're basically going to try and do it in one run this time. Normally we get to the Elite Four, we sort of get stalled. We have to go back and forth 4 or 5 times to try and get some more levels. But I'm hoping this time that we can go through the whole Elite Four in one hit. It's something that I haven't really been able to do yet. So that's something that we are aiming for here. We take on Bruno and pretty much destroy his whole team. Nice to have Earthquake, a stab type move, and ruin everybody. And then we go into Agatha, who we can't hurt with Earthquake, but we can hurt with Surf, and we can hurt with Rock Slide. We can't hurt with Takedown, but that's okay. Didn't really use Takedown much. I was going to sort of replace it with another move, but I thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, just keep chipping away at the moment. I was going to go get Ice Beam, that was the only thing I was thinking about too. Could have been the difference maker. But we get through most of her team before we get stopped with a few Hypnosises from Gengar, which is quite frustrating, so we just sort of counteract that with 4 restores. And that's something I need to get better at too. Whilst doing these runs, I've sort of watched them back and realised that I don't really like heal up enough in battle. I know there's a bit of a stigma around that with a lot of YouTubers doing it with you can't heal in battle, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to beat the game as quick as I could. I lost the footage there against Lance, but we actually beat him pretty convincingly. Having Rock Slide on us was really handy. And same thing again, we take on the champion at level 75 and beat Pidgeot. The only concern here is if he's going to use Solar Beam on us, because I think he loses Razor Leaf and replaces it with Solar Beam. And we get lucky with a big fat crit, and we wipe out basically the rest of his team. Venusaur, if he hit us with that Solar Beam, that was game over. But the fact that he used Growth really worked in our favour, which was, again, quite bizarre why he would use that first when he doesn't need to use it at all, really. Having our attack down with Feather Dance was quite frustrating from Pidgeot, but we managed to get by, beat Gyarados, and then we have the big boy Arcanine, the only one left to worry about. Used at extreme speed, and I kind of sort of stressed out a bit, but didn't crit, and we are the champion at level 75. Probably looking like our quickest run, which is quite nice. Let's see what the time is. 6 hours and 55 minutes. Almost an hour quicker than anybody else. So going forward, guys, I'm going to try and do some runs that either are going to be really long and see how fast I can do them, or do runs that are definitely going to challenge this time. So make sure you comment a Pokemon you would like to see me do, and maybe comment a Pokemon that you think might be able to beat Swampert. 6 hours and 55 minutes. I could have done things a little bit better, as always, but pretty happy with that time. Hoping to one day maybe get under the 6 hour mark. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoy. Peace.